QI. Some people spell it CHI. It's the same word. So it's QiGong. And basically that means the art of cultivating or building the qi. So what is the qi? That is our vital life energy. We could say it's like the subtle energy that powers all the functions of the body. So everything, breathing, digestion, movement, our emotions, our thoughts, and our ability to heal ourselves. This is all in Chinese medicine. This is all a function of how well the qi is flowing in our bodies. So qigong is ancient and it's movement as healing. It's part of traditional Chinese medicine. That's why I say it's one of the 4 pillars. And in today's class, we will learn, again, this yin building flow. So it's different qigong movements linked together in a flow. And when I was thinking about what are the basic principles of qigong, I thought, well, it's the same principles that apply to all Chinese medicine. So the 4 pillars of Chinese medicine, one is qigong, one is acupuncture, one is herbs, and the 4th one is a kind of body work called Tui Na that works with opening up the energy in the body. So the basic principles of all of these things are getting the qi flowing more freely, and where the qi is not flowing, like water that's dammed up or can't flow through a channel, is where we will tend to experience some kind of issue, either lower energy, lack of flexibility and movement, maybe even an injury or an illness. So we want to get the qi unstuck and flowing freely. Another principle is working with the earth, feeling ourselves rooted on the earth and moving with an awareness of our feet and our lower body. Moving with awareness, and that has to do with, are we paying attention to how we're moving? Are we stiff? Are we relaxed? How is our posture? How's our breathing? And finally, focusing on relaxation, because again, qigong is movement for healing. It has many other benefits, but the overall function is, the overall goal is working on healing. And a lot of healing happens when we're relaxed. So, all right, so this is the class menu, and it's a really bad pun, but it's sort of our Chinese menu, like people remember the old-fashioned Chinese menu where you picked one from column A, one from column B. And so this is the menu, this is the potential things we might do in this class. So we'll do a little bit of grounding today. We will do some stances, and that's a pose, that's a stationary pose. We'll do a little sound healing. We will do, I'm not sure about clearing your energy field. Well, we always do something in that direction. And then we'll do the yin immersion form. Okay. So always an invitation as we go through the class to pay attention to like different movements, like, oh, that one felt really good, or I really need that one. So in the beginning, when you're new or relatively new, you're just kind of taking it all in the flow. And then as you start coming to class more, you can focus a little bit more on which one did I like, which one did my body really need, and what is something that I could practice on my own. So, all right, we're going to come up to standing to start with our warm-ups. But before we do, just to say an invitation to anyone that might want to practice in a chair. So why stand up? Why be sitting? What's the difference? Either way, you're going to get a great qigong workout, qigong class. The reason to practice in a chair is if you have any kind of injury going on with your, or major strain, like a little ache and pain, that's not a big deal. But if you have stuff going on, let's say issues in the tissues, or what Daisy Lee calls a project, if you're having any projects in your hips, low back, knees, legs, or feet, then you might want to practice in a chair. when I first came to Qigong, that's how I was doing it, because I had a knee injury. I could barely stand, I could barely walk, actually. And I came to Qigong after the acute phase. In the acute phase, I couldn't do really much of anything. And then as I started to heal, somebody said, well, Qigong, you can do that in a chair. So you can be in a chair. You can also try being in the chair, getting up and practicing going back and forth, or standing. And then you're like, okay, my back started to really tweak me. If that happens, well, one thing is you might be not realizing you're holding a lot of tension as you're practicing, but it could also be just a sign. Okay, that's a sign for me to sit in the chair. So we want to respect and honor the body. We want, there is some effort in Qigong, and sometimes we'll do things that look totally like nothing from the outside, but actually do a lot on the inside. But Qigong's not about pushing or like going past your limit. It's staying within it. And the reason for that, first of all, it lowers our chance of injuring ourselves. That's really important. And, you can injure yourself in Qigong, but in my class, you probably have to like work at it a bit, or you really be pushing yourself. So if you're not pushing that hard, you're not going to have an injury. But it's also, when we work within our limits, close to the edge of what we're capable, but within it, then the body can relax. And again, we want to move in a relaxed way, because then the body is not trying to protect us against potential injury. So enough said about that. Let's come up to standing or stay in your chair as you like. I changed my camera view. Check positioning here. Okay, I think that's good. All right, let's start with grounding. So that's really getting your feet connected to the floor. So let's just lift a heel, turn the foot a little bit, both ways. We're also doing a little warm up right here with the ankle and the knee. And now plant the foot, slowly let the heel come down, spread your toes, feel like you've got roots from the bottom of your feet down into the floor. Good. Does that feel any different than the other foot, which we haven't grounded yet? All right, let's do that side. And so I'm pressing, I'm like got my heel lifted and I'm on the ball of my foot. And if you want a little support for your balance, you can either hold the wall or you can use a chair. And actually, yeah, right. So you can do it that way. Good. And then same thing with this one. So now let the heel drop, spread the toes, land that foot, and feel the root from that foot going down to the earth, feeling both rooted feet. Just an observation. So right now my feet are pretty much parallel and about hip width apart. I have a little bend in my knees. And you can adjust your feet for your comfort here, but the most important thing is, again, when you're coming down, your knees are over your feet.